The Countdown Cafe with Ken Scott, Big Dunk. And Big Dunk, who's this fella?
No, he's back.
The man's
The
back.
Flying Pig returns.
How do you do, stranger?
I'm back.
You certainly are. You certainly are. You're looking good. You're looking slimmer.
Oh, I'm down to 2.5 ton now.
2.5 ton. How's the legs?
Not good.
Not good?
Nope.
No, you're supposed to say they're fantastic. You're supposed to be optimistic. You're supposed to be positive. The World Cup is starting on Thursday. How good's that, lads?
Yes, buzzing, mate. Can't wait.
Absolutely great. I'm not so sure about the first game. It's hardly a glamour tie.
Saudi Arabia and Russia.
Yeah, it's hardly a glamour tie. And somebody told me last week that Russia, as far as the football team, they've slipped way down the FIFA rankings. Yeah. Was that right, lads? Do you know about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the least ranked teams in the competition. I'm going to give you guys a little competition. Yeah, I'm going to give you a competition about FIFA rankings a little bit later on.
Marvelous.
A little bit later on.
Really looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, I know it's just tremendous. It'll be fantastic.
That'll be a big fail then, won't it?
Yeah. It will be brilliant. Listen, we've got great music today. We've got Bruno Mars, we've got Ed Sheeran, we've got the Chainsmokers, Elvis Costello, Sam Smith, the Eagles, Drake, we've got Shakira, we've got great stuff. All we're going to talk about today, lads, is what?
The World Cup, obviously.
The World Cup. There's one thing I'm not happy about this England team.
All of it.
2 Mackems in it.
Oh, here we go.
2 Mackems in it. Now here, just before we go to some music, just off the top of your head, lads, just off the top of your head, don't think about it. You get 5 seconds to answer.
Yeah.
Okay, don't go into Google. Okay?
Yeah.
Escucha me. What club has the most England players in the squad?
Oh, no.
Quick.
England squad now.
Yeah, quick.
Manchester City.
Another guess. Wrong. Another one. Come on, Fly Pig.
Tottenham.
He's right.
Has he got it?
Yeah, he's right. 5 players in the Tottenham squad. If you were a Tottenham fan, it's a great World Cup to look forward to. We've got all the players there, Dele Alli and Kane and all of these guys. If you're a Liverpool fan,
Why
you've
did
got
I
a
say
couple.
Man City, really?
Man City's...
Foreigners.
No, Man City's got about 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah.
Man United's got 3 or 4.
Oh, they've got a couple in there that don't actually... Maybe not getting a lot of good football with Man City.
Yeah, quite right. Unfortunately, there isn't any Newcastle lads in there.
It's a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. Really, I thought Lascelles might have got a call up, but never mind. That's one of those things. But yeah, we're going to come back. We're going to play some music. Lots of music today, but lots of cracking on about the World Cup. The world's greatest competition. Never mind football. It's the world's greatest competition, bar none. Agree, Big Dunk?
Yes, definitely.
Fly Pig?
I don't know about that.
What else?
Oh, well, come on then. What else?
Stop being so miserable just because you're back here.
No, I'm not miserable. I'm good. But why is it the greatest competition?
It's the greatest sports competition in the world, better than the Olympics.
Because it's global, it's worldwide. Everyone's interested in it that likes football.
Better than the Olympics. I mean, come on, Fly Pig. They throw little metal balls around and call it the hammer.
I'd rather watch Champions Leagues than World Cup.
Would you really?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Would you really?
I'd rather watch Premiership on a Saturday when Liverpool beat Newcastle 4-0 every week. And then
Yeah, but it's football every day. It's 3-4 games a day.
Exactly, Big Dunk. I'm glad you've got a handle on this. I'm glad you've got a handle.
It's all right to get a chance to watch it. Some of us have to do work and do
Yeah,
things.
well, you should organise your work a little bit better like I do. I've been working like an Irish navvy. Is that politically correct these days?
I don't know, but you could have a radio, couldn't you, wireless, in where you're working.
But that's not the same as watching it, is it?
But still have an interest, isn't it?
What do you mean? You've got big televisions in the bar that you work in, the Yorkshire
I have no
Pride.
interest.
So of course you're going to watch it. Of course you're going to watch it. That's what we're going to be talking about all day, folks. The World Cup. If you don't like the World Cup, I suggest you maybe tune into another channel. Should I have said that,
No,
lads?
don't say that.
Okay, I'll not say that. I'll not say that. Listen,
There'll be some music. What? There'll plenty of music.
loads and loads of music today, as I say. I think we've got some Coldplay and Rihanna coming up. That's your first of many great tracks. Elvis Costello, I don't want to go to Chelsea, magic track. And just before that, Ed Sheeran, the A-Team. That could be us, gentlemen, couldn't it? The World Cup A-Team, or we could call ourselves
Z-Team.
the FM team or the Cool the Z team. That's not right. Anyway, never mind the music. Lots of music come a little bit later on. Savage Garden coming up. The Rembrandts, Paul Hardcastle and a little bit Simple Minds to follow very, very quickly. Listen, but we're talking one thing today, and that is the World Cup. It's football for the next month. Big, don't fly big. I can't wait.
Oh, man.
I can't wait.
Months to go, mate. A few days now.
I must admit, flying pig, I don't know about you, but I've really been working hard the last 2 or 3 weeks, so I can kind of pick my games, We've already discussed the Tunisia game, Big
Panama
Dunk.
next, yeah.
Panama next. Now,
June 24th.
You know a little bit about Panama.
Well, I can tell
you were running drugs up there or something, wasn't you, in the old days? Is that right?
I can tell you how they qualified, mate. So they're competing in the World Cup for the first time in their history, after finishing third in the final hexagonal CONCACAF qualification round ahead of Honduras, the United States. Many people thought the US would qualify, and Trinidad and Tobago. Los Canaleros took points from Mexico and the United States, as well as beating Costa Rica and Honduras on their way to making history. They were 4th seeds for the draw. Now, I've mentioned this a few times on this show. You need to look up on YouTube Panama when they scored.
It's on the Cool Pundits site. We put it on.
Did you see it?
Oh, that was fantastic.
Celebrations were off this planet.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it in my life. How much it meant to them, the commentators, everything.
Now that's great. If you're not on the Cool Pundits Facebook site, all you listeners out there in Cool FM land, go onto the Cool Pundits site, and that goal that Big Dunk is talking about, that's on there. That YouTube one, and I agree with you. It was fun.
I've got it on my phone, man. Honestly, it's such a. For me, that's like football. It's just like what it means to so many people. It's such a. We take it for granted qualifying for these tournaments and things like that. And to these guys, it was absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna have a bit of a soft spot for Panama, and I'm hoping that they do. I'm hoping that they can turn it on a little bit in this tournament. Now, do you want to know who their key players are?
You were going to tell what Big Dunk?
Yeah, the majority of Panama's players apply their trade in Major League Soccer, with a number of them dotted throughout Central and South America. Seattle Sounders defender Roman Torres is their captain and was one of their key men in qualification, so they will look to him for leadership in Russia. Midfielder Gabriel Gomez is their most capped player of all time, and his experience will be crucial if they are to upset their more vaunted opponents. Some of these names. Huichipato striker Gabriel Torres is their main goal threat. He's their main goal threat. Now, the manager is Hernan Dario Gomez, who has previously managed teams such as Colombia, Ecuador, and Medellin. The vastly experienced Colombian was appointed to the post in 2014 and has coached teams at World Cups in the past, having led Colombia to France '98 and Ecuador to Japan and Korea in 2002. Interestingly, at the 1998 World Cup, Gomez's Colombia came up against England and Tunisia, so there's an intriguing subplot of play.
Incredible. Just watching on the Cool FM, the Cool Pundits Facebook site, Josi Perez is tuned in. He's watching us live. You know who he is, don't you, Big Dunk Flying Pig?
No.
He's the Newcastle player.
Oh!
Josi Perez. John Madison is also watching. He's a big fan of Newcastle, good buddy of mine, live from Newcastle. We've got John McCauley.
How many times did you just say Newcastle there?
We've got John McCauley from Australia. See, I haven't mentioned Newcastle. John McCauley is watching from Australia, but he used to belong to Newcastle. He emigrated there when he was 18. So we've got lots of people listening in. Jodie Louise is listening in. Sue Simpkins listening in. They're loving your banter. Fly Pig. Now, listen, here's a good question. I'm going to come to you in a second. You mentioned you've got a little bit of a soft spot for Panama.
Yeah.
Okay. My soft spot is for Iceland.
Yeah.
I would like to see Iceland do
that?
well. I'll tell you why. In the
melt your heart, that's right.
What?
They melt your
They
heart.
melt my heart. But listen, I know you've got a soft spot for them two birds that were outside in the Marina Bar. Friday were coming on. Nice one. It's a family show. It's a family show. Who have you got a soft spot for? Not a hard spot, a soft spot, Flying Pig.
Me?
Who have you got a
He
soft
won't
spot?
want for anyone, will he? He's just too miserable, isn't he? He don't care.
I'm miserable.
He wants to watch Champions League, Premier League.
No,
Not interested.
No, not really. No, I do actually.
Who's your soft spot?
I don't really know. I don't think
Yeah, we're right. Don't you? We're right.
It's not bothered, mate.
Yeah.
He's only here to make the numbers up.
I think if anything, this might sound daft, but Japan, I'd like to see Japan do well. Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite
Japan.
into Japanese and all that.
this is the man that's written 3 World War II books. I ain't got a soft spot. I ain't got a soft spot for Japan. I'm sorry, and all that forgiveness is. Never. Let's move on. So Japan.
Can I just say one thing? What Doug said. That Panama lost Canaleros. That's a great nickname.
Yes.
Do you know what it means?
Yes,
literally.
Do you?
Tell me, I do. Yeah. It literally means after 3, 1, 2, 3. The Coffee
Can I-
Boys.
No, Canaleros, Canel, the Canel men.
The
Panama Canal.
Ah, okay. I'm thinking of
see,
another one.
See, we learned something new. Well,
I thought you said
Panama.
Cameros, which
No.
is literally the coffee men. I think that's
Canaleros.
Colombia are the coffee men. I think.
Canaleros.
Yeah, but
The canal.
the
men,
can-
because
canal.
Of the Panama Canal.
That's an interesting one.
And
That.
that's it. And what you've got to look at, this team, as Doug said, it's the first time that they've qualified for the World Cup. They've got a population of only 4.5 million people.
is that right? Yeah.
4.5 million people.
I'm not having that. My team, Iceland.
Yeah.
My team, Iceland. Do you know what their population is? 300,000.
Well,
300,000.
Yeah.
Incredible.
we should have all moved there when we were young. We might have got a game.
You
might have
could have
been
done.
international.
You would have been a goalkeeper for sure. For sure, Flying Pig. Actually, you could get into the Germany team. They've got Mr. Carriers playing for them, but that's another matter.
And
But
it's not,
listen-
he didn't make the squad, obviously.
Is he not in the squad?
Oh, that'd be stupid.
Is he not really?
No.
Oh, right. Now, I would have thought he would have been.
No.
No.
Ridiculous.
Well, he's one of your players. I think you should try and defend him.
How can you defend
Yeah,
that?
yeah. You know, you're sticking a knife in when the guy's on the bottom.
What did you hear about him being concussed? Did you see
Yeah, I
that?
saw that.
I'd
Now,
like your opinion on that.
that's very interesting. My opinion on that is it was made up.
Well,
That's my opinion.
Do you know where the hospital was that diagnosed it? It was in Boston, which is where the owners of Liverpool Football Club are actually based.
Oh, so what are you saying, Big Dog?
I just think there's a bit of a conspiracy there. Look, if he got concussed, it's fair dues, right? But then was he concussed in the previous game? He must have been concussed for a year then, because the mistakes were not out of character.
I don't
for
know after his
Carriers.
mistakes. I were concussed.
Yeah,
I
well, we didn't see you for a week.
No. No wonderful games in the first half dozen or so. None that you would kind of turn your television on saying, I have to watch that match.
I'm not missing a game.
I'm not either. Other than Portugal versus Spain on the 15th of June. Now, that's going to be a good one. Now, getting back to the World Cup rankings, what do you think Portugal's ranked at?
Oh, they haven't done anything, have they? So surely they've got to be
Well, didn't Portugal win to
Euros.
Euros last time?
Was it last? Was it?
Yeah, he's right.
Oh, right.
I would put them probably up there.
13.
No, I think I'm going to push Poland up. I don't. Not Poland.
Funnily enough,
Portugal. I think it was fourth, fifth.
spot on,
Has he
Flying
got it?
Pig. He's got fourth.
Yeah.
Now, fourth
But
seeds.
how can
That's
Portugal
incredible.
be fourth and you put Spain down at 10th? That is just
I know. Because
Crazy.
If they haven't won
where
that
do they
much,
get these
have
rankings from?
FIFA, you
No,
know.
but I mean, where do they get them from? FIFA.
Well,
You
they?
know.
Who pays the most money in it?
I can agree with that
Who hands over
if
the
you
most
won
money?
something on rankings. But here's another team just to throw a team into the mix. In 8th place, above Spain, Poland.
So talk so ridiculous.
Exactly.
How can that even be possible?
Exactly. I've got the proof here. And these are June the 7th rankings. And Poland are ranked number 8.
How could that be? How does it? I'd love to know it all.
The only thing I would say is that obviously we haven't, because of the football in Poland, we haven't really took much notice of their games over the last 2 or 3 years because they haven't interested with. And, you know, we might be wrong. They might have had some terrific results against France and Italy. Italy's not in the competition, neither are Holland.
So it's clearly not just based on what you've actually won. Then. It must be based over your overall performances over a set period of time,
based-
isn't it?
Yeah, but how long is it since England have been beaten? It's quite a while.
Yeah, I know, but if I can be fair to FIFA and the guys that rank them in the competition, England haven't beat anybody of real substance in the last couple of years. Would I be right to say that?
Beat Nigeria over the week.
Yeah, and Costa Rica. You know, this is what I'm. But I mean, Costa Rica's a good team now. Here's a one. Saying you brought it up. World rankings, Costa Rica. Where do you think they are?
Oh, way down.
23.
Yeah, I'm going to 20s.
How did you know that?
It's 23.
It's 23.
Is it?
Yeah, spot on. And we mentioned England the other day, the other minute ago. England, world ranking. What number?
Oh. 9.
15.
12.
Right.
Ranked number 12. But we're going to take a little bit of music. I mean, I'm going to show you guys these rankings.
Yeah, I want to see these.
I have to agree with you. Some of these rankings, you think, what drugs are you guys on at the ranking competition? I mean, you know, there's some crazy ones there as well. Obviously, Netherlands are there at number 17th. And
where are Italy? Because they haven't qualified, have they?
Okay, Italy, let's have a look. Italy, 19th.
Yeah, well,
19th. Okay. Croatia, 20th. Iceland, 22nd. And Costa Rica, 23rd. Your team, let's tell, what was your team again, Big Dunk?
What, for World Cup?
Yeah.
Panama. They can't.
They're not in the top 50.
And
Not in
Malta
the top
on there.
50. Malta will not be in the top 50. I just got the top 50. No,
Right.
Malta will not be in the top 50. But
Okay.
some really interesting things to look on those rankings. The FIFA rankings were out on June the 7th.
Oh.
They're up to date. We'll take a little look at Poland. Prior to going to a little bit of music, we're going to take the top of the hour. We'll be back in about 15 minutes with more football blokes.
Right, I need a pee now. Yeah. That's it. Legs will work.
Begin back. Have you ever come back? Come back. Come back. The script, a marvelous, marvelous tune. It's Cool FM here live from the heart of Benidorm. Somebody's pulled me up quite rightly as well. I said it was Mr. Company that made that disparaging remark against Pep Guardiola. It wasn't Big Dunk, was it?
No, sorry.
Yaya Toure. Okay, and is somebody called Gibbo or something?
Timo44 on Twitter messaged me.
Okay, so at least one person's listening to it, lads.
Yeah.
At least one person's listening to it. But yeah, very, very interesting.
That's it, Timo. You keep this boy in check because sometimes he does get a little bit wrong.
Absolutely,
Like we all
absolutely.
do.
Well, listen, anyway, next Friday, never mind the Thursday, next Friday, a big game as the Spain-Portugal game. Are you all going to be watching that one, lads?
Oh, yeah, I think it'll be a good game.
The good thing about it is you've got another team that you can sort of like get involved with.
Absolutely.
If you've got Spanish friends, if you're involved in that community, which I have, and I know you will.
Yeah, I am. I was.
It gives us a chance to see us win.
I was there when the World Cup. Here, I was in the sports hall at the sports bar at Lanúthia, and we all ended up in the pool. Yeah. It was the most fantastic night. It really was. And somebody had a big cake, and then all of a sudden there was a cake fight, and all the faces were painted. It was just wonderful.
Yeah. I was in a same sort of thing. I was in a bar, Miriam it's called. My friend Angel, him and his family, is there, family bar. All Spanish, hundreds of them, fantastic.
And they went crazy, didn't
just to get caught up in it all.
Yeah, it was great. And it makes you think, I mean, the occasion, you will remember it as well, Flying Pig. I mean, the occasion was fantastic. We got caught up in the Spanish atmosphere. You did great.
Yeah, I did. I was in the Spanish bar,
But did you not think at that time, this was brilliant, but it wasn't my team. It wasn't my team.
It still felt like my team.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know you. It's the nearest I'm going to get because, as you know, with my Scottish roots, my team don't even qualify for the World Cup finals. Yeah. Never mind actually win it. And it's the nearest I'm going to get. I've definitely adopted Spain as my team.
Yeah. And when you're invited into it by those people and accepted,
and they make a part of you,
exactly.
It's tremendous.
That's a big compliment. So.
And I have to tell you, lads, and I'm going to get shot down here on the Facebook. Coverage. We've got Cool FM Spain, and we've got the pundits. If Spain ended up playing England at one particular point in the competition, I'm afraid I'd be shot for Spain.
No doubt. But you know, when Spain were progressing through that tournament, when I started going to this bar, like I say, it's right up in the heart of the Spanish community here. Because Spain were progressing and doing well, they kept saying to me, "You have to come for the quarter-final.
Yeah. You
have to come for the semi-final." Literally every time I went there was a table reserved for me with my name on everything, and they looked after me. And they actually said to me, 2 or 3 of them before the final, if you're not around for the final, we will come and find you.
We'll come and get you
And
because
bring
you
you here.
thought you were lucky.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely, yeah.
It wasn't because you were buying the drinks, big
No,
was
I
it?
didn't have to buy any, to be honest, mate.
That was brilliant. That night in Lanuthier as well, we had a big paella and everything. It was all free, and people were coming, bringing bottles of cava and everything. Oh, what a night it was. Where did you watch that, Flying Pig? Where did you watch it?
I watched it in a Spanish bar at Rincon de Loy.
Okay.
We all Spanish, it was a great
Yeah.
night. I had my Spanish shirt on, I even had my face painted.
Yeah.
Because
I wish you'd paint your face a bit more.
no, but
often,
there was a girl going around painting everybody's faces, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my daughter was here with grandkids and as well and everything. It was a fantastic night, and as you say, all the Spanish, you know, they made you welcome and made you feel.
It was great. I did capture quite a bit of it on video. I've got it on YouTube on my channel, like, so it's good to look back and see it sometimes.
Yeah.
And the mental art with them crackers and
Yeah, tremendous.
letting them off.
Tremendous. I'd love them to win it this year. I must admit, I'd love them to win it.
Can they do it? Can they win it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they've got a Portugal obviously in the first game in the group stage. That's a difficult game, but again, a little bit like the England group, they should progress against Iran and Morocco. They really should. The only problem was, I don't know if you remember, the last World Cup, they were actually beaten in the first game against Switzerland, and it was a real shock. We were covering the game for Cool FM at the time, and we were in a bar, the Wookie Hollow, if I remember right, and it was a real shock that they were actually beat. But you know, I think the group, they'll certainly progress out of that group. Morocco and Iran. I can see a Portugal-Spain draw in the first game because they'll both be a little bit nervous. And at the end of the day, you know, they've got to get a result against them. They're a tremendous team once they start pushing the ball around. And as I say, it was only a month ago, 5 weeks ago, that they absolutely slaughtered Argentina. They really turned it on there. And of course, it's Andres Iniesta's last appearances for Spain. He's going to retire after the World Cup, but there you go.
Let's hope they do it.
Let's hope they do it. Let's hope they do it at the expense of England. Big Dunk.
No, it's a stupid. All right.
Okay, we're coming up to the top of the hour. It's exactly 16:57. We'll be back. A little bit more music. Top of the hour, as I said. And we'll come back with some more football banter. Maybe it's the last half hour of the show.
And it's soon gone again.
Why is that? What's happened there?
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
Oh, fucking hell, I'm having it again now.
Avicii, Hey Brother, and before that, Rihanna featuring Drake, What's My Name? What's My Name indeed. Listen, we've had a little text come in. We're going to be covering the first England game, which is next Monday. What time is it, Flying Pig?
Not next Monday.
Well, Monday coming.
No.
Yeah. Big Dunk.
No idea.
The 18th.
What date it falls on?
No, it's a week this Monday.
You've got all your little fancy charts in.
A week on Monday.
Yeah, a week Monday.
Let's have a look. Isn't
It
that?
starts on Thursday, doesn't it? So it's the following Monday after that.
Ah, yes, I'm thinking, yeah, of course it is. It's not this Monday coming, it's the Monday after.
Yeah,
But anyway, regardless, the first England game on the Monday, whatever Monday it is, we're going to be at the Union Jack Bar in the Rincon.
All right.
Okay?
Right,
We're going to be covering it live, just punditry. We're not going to be actually televising the game. We're going to be on Facebook Live, Cool FM, and Facebook Live, Cool Pundits. Okay, so we're going to go to the Union Jack Bar. We've had a text through. They've invited us over. So if anybody out there in listener land wants to come and take part in the interviews, the half-time analysis, the end of game analysis,
We'll be sober.
we'll be yeah, hey, it's no drinking.
Tuts.
No, the rules are here. It says here, look, no drinking water.
That's all right.
Okay, is that fair enough?
Yeah,
That sounds about right, yeah.
That's fair enough. But yeah, so now listen, last bit of the show, we'll be tying up about 5:30. Last little bit of the show. Take England out of the equation. Take them out of the equation, lads.
That will, yeah.
Okay? Take Spain out of the equation as well.
All right.
Okay? Apart from England and Spain, because that's where your heart is, apart from England and Spain, what team's going to win it?
Well, you've got the big hitters, haven't you? You've got the the Brazils, you've got the Germanys. Yeah, Brazil,
France,
Germany.
Argentina.
I know what we've got, lads, but I want your opinion and why your particular team's going to win it.
Do you know something? I've a feeling this year, we've been in Russia and all that. I think Brazil might not do too well this year.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be as formidable as they're usually made out to be. I've just that feeling, I don't know why.
So you're going to see Brazil as the also-rans. They're the team that's going to fail. Yeah?
I really think, I'm not saying they're going to fail miserably, but I've just a feeling that they're not going to be there at the end. And you can never ever discount Germany, can you?
No,
Don't.
and I think they're
Well,
favourites.
Yeah, the
Well, they are
favourites.
favourites.
Yeah.
I mean,
Argentina. Depends. I mean, they've got Lionel Messi, so I mean, you know, if he's on form, anything can happen with them. But I wouldn't say Argentina
lads,
was
escúchame.
right.
Argentina qualified for the World Cup by the skin of their skin teeth.
they were.
They were very, very fortunate in the last game. They needed something like a 3-0 win
The only
in the last
clean
game.
sheets 8 times out of 18 qualification games.
Dylan not do. I tend to agree with you. I don't think the South American teams will be ideally suited to the climate
Yeah.
of northern Russia. And I know it's the summer, and I know they have a reasonable summer all told, but there's a lot of those cities that are still fairly cold, and the likes of Saudi Arabians and the South Americans aren't going to be too enamored at playing in Russia. The grass is different. It's just a different thing.
Well, so far it sounds like we're going with Germany. I think so far, but there's France as well. Remember, but I think a lot depends on Paul Pogba and that what he does.
Well, if you rely on Paul Pogba, I think you can just rule out France altogether. Then.
Yeah, I think you're right, because he's the most inconsistent player since what was his name, Balotelli. He could be a genius for one game, and 7 games he would do nothing. That is Paul Pogba. My team, I think, and we've already talked about them, lads. I think Belgium are going to give a real good account of themselves.
If they can keep. If they don't lose 2 or 3 players, the main players, like through injuries or suspensions or anything like that, then I think they've got a good chance.
But
Germany.
But the Flying Pig, you went through that team before, the Belgian team Flying Pig. It's full of absolute. Not even. I wouldn't even describe them as superstars.
Yeah, but France, they've got some quality players in there as well.
They have, but I think. For me, anyway, I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to say
You're going with Belgium, aren't you?
Belgium. I'm going to go with Belgium. They had a poor Euros the last time round, one of them I quite fancied. I think the manager Martinez hit the nail on the head. They've got to have a winning mentality. They've got to go there thinking that they're good enough, and if they can adopt that attitude, and it is all about the attitude. Being somewhere for a month's competition. You've got to be mentally ready. You have to be mentally astute. You have to be mentally strong that you're going to do that. I'll give you an example, and it's totally the different way around. There was a good pal of mine walked the Camino de Santiago on his own about 3 or 4 years ago now. A guy called David Mills. He's well known here, and it took him a month. He walked the Camino de Santiago from a certain point to the west coast, and it took him a month. He said his body was wrecked. He walked 25 kilometers every day, but he said his mind was shot to bits. That's where it really gets you. And whilst everybody thinks, oh, it must be great playing in the World Cup final, of course it is, and staying in a hotel for a month and that, month away from your family, month away from your friends, month away from your normal routine. Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah, you'd be on the drink, wouldn't you? They're not allowed to.
No alcohol. Okay. I've got to say, I think Gareth Southgate's allowing the wives there, but most teams, it's a no sex rule. So
I'm all right with that.
You've got all these home comforts taken away from you. And it preys on the mind. You have to be strong. You have to be a little bit of experience. I think you mentioned Nigeria had the youngest squad. Watch them fall at the first hurdle.
Yeah.
I think you have to have the experience. The lads, it's been around a long time. Would you not agree, Flying Pig?
Yeah, I think you're right there. It is all down to mental attitude and that.
And you remember in the World Cup about 12 years ago, and Roy Keane, we're talking about Roy Keane again. I love Roy Keane, and I know you Liverpool last don't, but I love Roy Keane. And he went with the World Cup, and I can't remember who the manager was, but Niall Quinn was in the team as well at the time, and Roy Keane went. And he came home. Can you remember he came home?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He said he was appalled at how unprofessional the Irish team went in there and set up for a World Cup final. And you have to be strong. You have to be, I can't remember who it was Mick McCarthy. Mick McCarthy was the manager at the time. And Roy Keane came home in absolutely appalled at the way that they went about that. And everything has to be right. And you look at the teams such as Panama and Tunisia, these teams, Senegal, that haven't been in the competition before, experience will start to tell. Experience of the players, the experience of teams that's been there a lot, Big Dunk.
Yeah, well, you say Nigeria have the youngest squad, yeah. You know who's next? France.
Really?
France, and then England.
Mm-hmm. And then England.
Yeah.
Now that is very interesting.
And the other end is my team that I'm going to, I don't want them to do England, but Panama, they've got the oldest squad.
They're not going to get anywhere near it.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Big Dunk, man. Panama.
I'm telling you. Come on.
Do you think they're going to beat England?
Would you ever say that someone couldn't beat England, really? Because they can be a bit...
Well, Iceland beat them in the Euros last time round, and that was one of the biggest shocks of all time. Again, we're talking population of 300,000 people.
I think that was a bigger shock.
The main contenders, out of the favourites, Argentina and Brazil have the oldest squads.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your experience.
And then here we've already said as well, Flying Pig and Pig agrees with me, I think the South American clubs might struggle a little bit in Russia.
Yeah.
I think they might struggle.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah. Mm. Anyway, we're going to wrap up now. It's quickly approaching 20 past.
Is that it? Are we done already?
I think so, unless you want to do another spot. That as well. Big game. England playing. Who was playing?
Oh, sorry, I was reading. Sorry,
okay.
Tunisia, yeah.
He was reading. I was watching what he was reading.
He was reading my mind.
Because Rosie and Jim scored. They put £500 on Brazil to win.
Listen, Rosie and Jim, you might as well give it to me and these two lads here, and we could have gone and drink with you.
Yeah, we could have had a week's drinking with that money, Rosie and Jim.
Because there's not getting any money out of that lad, I'll tell you.
And the oldest player's 45, so they're still up.
Really? Who's that?
He's Egypt's goalkeeper, I think. Assam El Hadari.
Yeah, well, the goalkeepers, they don't need to be.
Oldest outfield player, 39. Mexico's Rafael Marquez.
Okay.
He knows some rubbish, don't he?
Yeah, he knows some bollocks. Right, we're taking a little bit of music. We'll not decide yet whether we're coming back. We'll debate that issue.
Yes.
Stereophonics, would you believe? And just before that, New Order, Blue Monday. That was just for Big Dunk there. Big Dunk. Had a little bit of look whilst we've been away there on the FIFA rankings. We've come across an interesting article, me and the Pig. It's stating that the FIFA rankings are deeply flawed. The formula used to calculate the rankings gives countries less points if a match is a friendly game, which discourages teams from playing friendlies and pulls down the ranking of the tournament. And obviously, if Russia has already qualified, they don't have to play the big tournaments. Russia, what position within the rankings, Flying Pig?
Well, in the FIFA rankings, they were 70th.
70th. And again, that's really, really low because they've played predominantly friendlies leading up to the competition. So,
right?
Yeah. So we just read it there.
Apparently, there's another rankings called ELO. ELO rankings.
Electric Light Orchestra rankings. Yeah.
And it's another way of measuring teams. and in that Russia are actually the 27th best side in the tournament.
Which is possibly a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Well, it just shows you the FIFA rankings are garbage. I mean, they've got a ranking system that is the World Cup teams and the host nation, because they haven't had to play the qualifying matches, go way down in the rankings, 70th team. We're just reading there that they actually technically ranked better than Egypt and better than the other team in the group, so they've got a very good chance of progressing to the next round. Anyway, we didn't say we were going to talk about that. You guys wanted to talk about New Year's honours lists and
Queen's birthday honours. Yeah, we can't go. We can. Yeah, no.
Well, you know, Queen's birthday.
He just wants to get out for a pint, but I've held him back because I can't go without mentioning that Kenny Dalglish is finally a Sir.
He's not King Kenny anymore, is he?
He's Sir.
He's Sir Kenny now.
Sir Kenny, and rightly so. People have gone on about it for years that he should be recognised, especially for his work to do, with charity, big time.
Is he big in charity? Yeah.
Yeah, with his wife Marina, raised tens of millions of pounds, and obviously going back to the Hillsborough disaster, he attended every funeral, of everyone that died. Just a good egg, and I think that most, if not all, football fans, even of rival clubs, would accept that Kenny Dalglish is one of the top names in football. So,
and also someone else.
Jermaine Defoe, of course, yeah, he got an OBE. Obviously, he did a lot for that.
Bradley Lowry.
Yeah, there was, we don't need to go into it. It was very depressing, wasn't it? But he certainly went above and beyond what was needed there.
What was expected of a professional footballer, and they actually became very, very good friends away from the camera and the limelight.
Yeah, it's an important thing to mention there, because a lot of these people do stuff only when there's a camera around.
Yeah, quite right. And Jermaine Defoe, I mean, obviously being a Northeast team, Sunderland, and obviously this young kid was an avid Sunderland fan, and yeah, it has came out. Even the Newcastle fans have applauded Jermaine.
Well, even you.
I had to get Newcastle in there, didn't I?
Well, it's funny you should say that.
Right. Well, there's just one thing.
No, but just to finish,
right.
Jermaine Defoe did. I think go to the kid's house, his hospital bed when there was no cameras there. Hats off to him, thumbs up to him. Yeah. Great.
And he was devastated as well, wasn't he?
He was distraught. They really did become friends. It was quite incredible.
We're going to go to something a little bit more upbeat. We're going to end this now.
We had a little bit of something that you don't know about, Scotty.
Yeah, we had a bet today before the show started about you.
Right,
about you, mate. And I've lost count. I don't know about you.
I said to Doug, let's have a bit of a wager here and see how many times Scotty mentioned
Newcastle into the show. Even mentioning Sunderland is still mentioning Newcastle, because it usually follows up with a dig.
Right, okay.
So
we had a bet on it.
And you've kept count.
We kept count. Lost count.
Well,
I gave up.
Doug said, I think it'll be about 4.
And he started laughing when I said 4. I went, about 4.
I said, well, at least 8+.
But does it count for every time he says it in each topic? Because some topics...
Newcastle.
Yeah, that's what he did. In one paragraph, he said Newcastle 4 times.
No, well, I was only counting. not like that.
Each incident.
Each incident.
I gave up at 8 because I knew you'd won.
I think it was up to about 15 or 16.
It's ridiculous.
It's actually,
we're talking about World Cup show now. About 15 times a minute.
You say it's ridiculous. It's actually very professional. That I can
even then, with Jermaine Defoe, he even said, didn't he? Even Newcastle fans.
Okay.
Well, on that brighter note.
On that brighter note, I better get my wallet out and see the flying pig right.
We'll watch the moths come out of that one, because he's very shy getting to the bar, this guy. Right, a little bit rugby update, Mr. Flying Pig.
Yeah,
what's happening?
down in
South Africa's playing England.
Yeah, South Africa 3, England 17.
Yeah, going well. The old English guys, they didn't have a great autumn international over here, the Six Nations, but they're flying high in South Africa at the moment, given those, what they call Springboks. A right good old hiding in a half time. How far into the game, Flying Pig?
About 20 minutes or so,
okay.
25 minutes.
Are you going to nip outside and watch the rest of the game, do you think?
I don't think they'll have it on, to be honest with you, Scotty.
No, is it not on Sky or something? I don't know.
It's on Sky, yeah.
Anyway, listen.
Hey, what about? Hey, hang on.
Go on.
Since we've been a sports show today, not just talking about
Come on.
There's some boxing tonight as well. Isn't there? Quite quite a bit of
Yeah.
boxing.
Yeah, there's a little bit in English Square. There's a little bit on the front. there's a little bit up by the.
That's UFC, isn't it? All that.
Be a bit boxing.
No, but there is a bit of some boxing. Do you guys follow any of that?
Yeah, I
Tyson,
love the boxing.
Tyson Fury.
But they reckon it's a ridiculous fight.
It's a ridiculous
It's like a
fight.
warm up, just a warm up.
Well, Tyson Fury, he's come back since he got banned. He got banned for a couple of misdemeanors, which he did. Tyson Fury actually fights out of Manchester, but he actually comes from where I come from. I come from Lancaster, Morecambe. It's the same place. He's actually a Morecambe gypsy, is Tyson Fury.
He's a gypsy, yeah. Gypsy.
Yeah.
You're a gypper, aren't you?
No, not quite. But I know quite a few guys that know Tyson back in Morecambe and that. And he's a good geezer. He's a good geezer,
Yeah.
but he's a good time geezer.
Yeah.
He likes to have a good drink, and he likes a bit of the old the other stuff. You know what I mean?
All right.
And that is why he got banned.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah. But it's his comeback fight tonight after 3 years, and it's
Is it 3 years since he
Yeah,
fought?
it's
Good
3
God.
years.
Seems
It's
like
fine.
yesterday.
He's fighting a guy called Sefer Safari, right?
The fairy.
Right. Now, this is the first guy. He's had 20. This guy has had 23 fights and only lost once, right? And he's KO'd 21 of his opponents. But what you got to remember is, he's from Albania. It's his first ever fight at heavyweight.
Right.
Well,
Now-
I'm not surprised he's 4'4".
Now, honestly,
Yeah, he looks
it.
short next to
he
him.
looks
He's
doesn't
half the size of Fury.
Tyson Fury has weighed in 5 stone heavier than this guy.
And
He's got,
That's after losing 7 stone, I think, hasn't he, for this fight, I think.
yeah, he has lost a lot.
What?
Yeah,
He was-
yeah, because he was a big boy. Yeah.
He
But
put
can you,
loads on, didn't he?
can you imagine stood next to him? All he's got to do is give him one punch on top of the ear,
Yeah.
and that's it. So I think it's going to be a bit of a.
It looked, I saw the weigh-in yesterday. It was a bit of a circus for me. Like they were a bit too friendly. They picked
He
each
picked
other
him
up
up, didn't
and
he?
that.
And give him a
It was
12.
a bit
and
too
all that.
man-friendly. I like to see him when they're like
One
when
again.
there's a bit of
And
like,
the Wheelston fight out got in there, you know, the guy, the famous YouTube thing where there's a little weed of a
seeing
guy.
him. Come
You
on,
know,
man, you want it?
and he's at a non-league football match. Somebody says something. He goes, "You want some? You
Yeah.
want some? I'll give it you. I'll give it you."
Yeah.
Well, he was at the press
I saw
conference,
that they were
and
there,
he
yeah.
stood up and he got up to Tyson. He goes, "You want some? You want some? I'll give it
He's
you.
about 3
I'll give
foot
it."
tall,
He's
isn't he?
if these opponent, the Fury's opponent's 4'4", this guy's 3'4".
Yeah.
But it was all a little bit of a gimmick, a little bit of a laugh, you know.
I
But,
think that could be quite a bit of a fast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow boxing. I'd like to get into it a bit. I used to watch it many years
Oh, I love
ago.
the boxing,
But,
love it.
I'm sure that'll be on the big screens tonight around Benidorm.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
as long as it's not too late, this is my big bugbear
Well, I
with
guess
these big
it's
fights.
UK, innit? It's
Yeah,
in
so
the
it
UK,
should be
it'll
okay.
all right, yeah.
But these ones from America, and they start at 4 in the
You
morning.
stay
and
up till 4 or
yeah,
5 and someone comes
and
out,
yeah,
smacks someone once
yeah.
and it's over.
Well, no, worse than that, big dunk. You stay up till 5 to 4, and then you fall asleep on the couch.
And you pay per view.
That's the worst bit. But there you go.
Right.
Anyway, we're tying the show up. It's 17:36. We will be back with you next Saturday, of course. We'll be somewhere on Thursday, some bar in Benidorm on Thursday for the opening game of the 2018 World Cup, which is Russia versus Saudi Arabia. It should be a good game, should be a good spectacle, and we will certainly be there. Hopefully, I'm picking get some little bit time off and join us. But we're looking for a bar. We're looking for a bar in Benidorm. All we want's free beer. Free beer.
No, we don't drink a lot.
Maybe it's a kebab
No,
or two.
No, we don't drink a lot.
Maybe it's a kebab or two, and some of these naughty ladies that take their clothes off in the bar. That would, real football
I don't know
stuff.
what bars you've been going to. mate.
Okay, listen, it's goodbye from me, Ken Scott.
Goodbye from the Flying Pig.
Yeah, I'm from Big Dunk. Cheers, guys.
All right.
Down tonight.
Yeah.
The Chainsmokers featuring Halsey, whoever the hell they are. Prior to that, the Cars, Just What I Needed, magic track from the mid-80s, I would say, the mid-80s. We're talking football, it's football all the way. We've had some great, frank discussions about the rankings and how useless the FIFA rankers are. They're a right bunch of rankers, Big Doug.
They are indeed.
Aren't they just, I pick?
A lot of tops, really, I think.
So, well, some of them are quite believable, unbelievable.
Not that those teams are there on merit, like, you know, just because it's unfashionable, we're putting them down, isn't it?
No, well, no, I tend to agree. I kind of quite believe that Poland are right up there. I've had a look at some of the recent results, and they've had some decent games, but let's face it, Poland 4th ranking. It's unbelievable. above Spain. Above Spain.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's where it seems a bit bizarre, isn't it?
The Red Fury. Yeah, I can't quite understand it. But listen, one of the teams I really, really do fancy, Big Dunk, Flying Pig,
him, yeah?
Belgium.
Yeah, I think I do as well.
It could be, if they can hold it together mentally, and I think if they can keep their star players fit, because I don't think they've got a lot in depth, then they could be a cheeky surprise. They could be.
Well, I don't think they'll be surprised, to be perfectly honest.
Before we go into it, can I just mention a few in the squad? Right, goalkeepers.
It's incredible.
Courtois and Mignolet, right? Then in the defence, you've got Alderweireld from Spurs, Vermaelen from Barca, Company from Man City, Vertonghen from Spurs. And then you go into midfielders and forwards. You've got De Bruyne, Fellaini, Dembele, Lukaku, Hazard.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Mertens from
It's
Napoli,
incredible.
and
Did you mention Lukaku? As well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. The caps that they've got, you know, Courtois 57, Alderweireld 76, Vermaelen 66, Company 77, Vertonghen 101 caps. You know,
so they've got the experience, but now listen, maybe the rankers, those rankers at FIFA might have this right, because they've got Belgium in at number 3, and I don't think any of us could disagree with that.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all, no.
They were well fancied in the Euros the last time and very much underperformed.
They did actually.
A lot of the stuff that I've read about them have mentioned this, you know, the mental, you know, saying that the biggest obstacle is still likely to be the mental side of things. They've gone from not qualifying for a major tournament between 2002 until 2014 to a group, are now regarded as their golden generation. So they've got the players, they've got the talent, but sometimes they seem to not turn it on, not do it. Yeah, that's the thing.
I think it's like 100% taken that England and Belgium are going to get through this group, unless there's a disaster, an absolute disaster. And I don't mean just by England's standards, I mean Belgium as well. We've got to see England and Belgium progressing.
Martinez, the manager, Roberto Martinez, we know him, of course. He said,
great manager.
We need to learn how to be a winning team. We've got exceptional talent, but talent on its own is not enough to win a major tournament. We've never had the direction before. It's,
it's a funny one, this. And listen, I just want to go back, just take one little step back. You mentioned Vincent Kompany, Flying Pig. He came out in midweek. He's left Manchester City now. He came out in midweek and he says that Pep Guardiola basically is a racist. He's got a problem with African players. Now, I think that is absolutely appalling. Absolutely appalling. He said that he's a problem with African players. I mean, Pep Guardiola, throughout his career, has featured African players. The company said this because he didn't really feature in that last year of the championship. He was given a 2-year contract in 2016. He played most of the games 2016/17. Then 2017-18, he didn't really get his game. And he's left and said something like that against Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola has kept his dignity. He hasn't said anything about it. The last game that Manchester City played at home in the championship, 4 Africans in the team.
Yeah.
I mean, how can they come out and say something as stupid
I never read that. I know that something had been said, but that's quite
it's shocking. But anyway, that's by the by. But
another player that I don't think you mentioned was the lad from Roma, that Nangolan, whatever it is. Have you seen him? He's a defender.
Is that the young kid?
I'm not sure how old he is, but he's. I think he's one with all the tats on his neck and all that. He's an exceptional player. I'd love to see him in the Premier League.
He has a question for you.
Oh, here we go.
I love my quiz questions. I really do. I love my quiz questions. Who's the only footballer in the world without any tattoos, and why has he got no tattoos?
What sort of a question is that?
Oh, I've asked you.
What sort of a question? You've been round and checked every footballer in the world.
Every one of them. There's only one hasn't got any tattoos.
Where's he come from?
Portugal.
I was going to say Newcastle, right?
There's rumours that his mother had a Newcastle milkman. He's one of the greatest players in the world. He's Ronaldo. And do you know why he hasn't got any tattoos?
He's a wimp.
No, because he gives blood twice a year. And he's not allowed. You're not allowed to have tattoos. And
if anyone, you think he could have uncovered in all that, didn't you?
You would, but it's not. Now listen, I read something wonderful about Ronaldo the other week about 25 reasons why you should really respect them, and that was one of them. No tattoos. Bro, tattoos are big dunk. I'm only giving you a little bit trivia.
Yeah. It's professional. I see how he did that, mate.
A little bit trivia, But tell me more about Belgium.
Nickname.
The nickname.
You want to go with the nickname? Go on then. Red Devils, isn't it?
The Red Devils.
Right, well, I ain't following them.
No, we're...
Neither are you, lads.
No, they reached the World Cup by finishing top of UEFA qualifying Group H ahead of Greece and Bosnia and Herzegovina. They came through qualification unbeaten, winning 9 games and drawing once, an average 4.3 goals a game, and their defence was similarly impressive as they conceded just 6 times, 3 of which came in a 4-3 victory over Bosnia.
Yeah.
And it's, again, I've been looking at populations. There's only 11 million people in Belgium as well, which is not a great deal, is it?
No, but it's a lot more than 300,000 from my lads, the Iceland men.
Oh, you're going for Iceland. I'd like to see what betting odds there. I don't know. We'll have to.
Was the fans too, isn't it? Do you remember it from the Euros?
Crazy.
Yeah, great. And here's another statistic. In the Euros, when Belgium, now you'll never get this question, when Belgium made it to the semi-finals, Iceland made it to the semi-finals or the quarter-finals it was of the Euros, what percentage of the population of Iceland went to the match? This is ludicrous.
So just
1%.
20% of the population of Iceland travelled. 20%. They didn't all get in the ground. They didn't, but the 20% of the population went to the game.
Sure he makes it as he goes along.
Statistics, 90% are made up in the spot.
So many people listening to that statistic right now that'll be telling that tale wrong.
Get it on the internet. Get it on the internet. It's true. Would Ken Scott ever lie to you, Joe Quinn? Joe Quinn listening. He's watching on Cool Pundits. Would Ken Scott ever lie to you if he comes in now and types in yes, sir?
Just bringing one thing in now that we've mentioned all teams in England's group. If and when they qualify, usually you say, we could do it. We're coming first because of who we play in this, in the next match. If you look, the winners of Group G play the runners up of Group H, and then obviously the runners of Group G play the winners of Group H. But you wouldn't mind being first or second, because in Group H you've got Poland, Senegal, Colombia, or Japan.
Well, you'll fancy Japan, and Poland's fourth. The mighty Poland, 4th seeds.
Well,
It's a difficult one. Mind, I've never been a one that said, let's finish second because we'll play that one. You've got to beat everybody. You've got to beat everybody. And I think if you do get into that group and you get thrown against a big team and you happen to beat them, then that's just got to raise your confidence for the rest of the tournament. Would you not agree, lads?
Well, if you're going to win it, you have to beat everybody.
That's what I've just said.
So that was a team. So we've got to get a team from Group H, in the round of 16, is what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Colombia, Japan, Poland, and Senegal.
Yeah.
Good team, Senegal. I like Senegalese players. A lot of good Senegalese players. Great player from Newcastle United. Pampassi says Senegalese, man. You brought it up. You teed it up for me. I had to take it. And talking about taking it, we'll take a little bit of music. It's 17 minutes past 4 here from sunny, well, not so sunny Benidorm, but from Benidorm. 17 minutes past 4. We'll take a little bit more music and we'll come back with more football banter. World Cup rubbish.
Blankers, Cool FM.
Right, Belgium. Panama.
The Cure, Friday, I'm in love, even though it's Saturday, it doesn't matter. Listen, we're going to talk a little bit about the England group and who England are playing in the forthcoming World Cup game. But before I do, there's just one thing I was wanting to say to you. I think I posted it on Cool FM Cool FM Facebook this morning, Cool Pundits, and it was relating to Roy Keane, and there was a big charity game. And prior to the World Cup, and it was for charity, I must admit.
No, it's tomorrow night.
It's tomorrow night, yeah. And they asked Roy Keane to manage the rest of the world team. And Roy Keane, I love Roy Keane, I have to admit. They asked me to manage the rest of the world team. Well, and of course, it goes off just as I'm reading it. Come on, what's going on here, boys? Hang on a second. You've got to talk for a minute, lads.
Yeah, I'm going to say, you're not very good with technology.
Yeah. It went off for some reason.
No, don't talk. Just watch him melt on the spot. No, I like Roy Keane, though. Man, he always gets stuck in, doesn't he? I mean, when he was at Manchester United as a player, I couldn't stand him.
No, I couldn't
He was
stand
a
him
thug, wasn't he?
Could you not?
That was an absolute thug. But that's because he plays for your rivals, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you hate someone like that, that's because usually they're a good player, and he was an immense player. There's no doubt about it.
That tackle, who was it against?
It's Haaland?
Yeah,
what was it called? Scandinavian kid, wasn't it?
Yeah, he said he was going to get him back. Did he get him back? Didn't he?
God.
And then he got sent off. He just went over to him, didn't he? And
just walking the studio, should lock the door. No, they asked me to manage the rest of the world team. Listen to this, lads. I couldn't say quick enough. That's what's a great line. I couldn't say no quick enough. Kids blowing horns, women screaming, hell on earth. It's like the who's who of cretins, charging folks 50 quid to watch John Bishop and Jack Whitehall run around like a couple of gimps on acid. It's immoral. Don't even get me started on Jonathan Wilkes. What's he famous for? Wiping Robbie Williams' backside. I'm amazed that fat idiot Corden isn't involved. I don't care if it's for charity. They should be grateful they can't get ITV in Uganda. I mean, what?
Normally you'd read that and think that can't be true. That's the sort of thing he would say, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you see some of his interviews when the commentator says, "So listen, Ray, listen, Roy, you've lost that last couple of games. Will you be resigning at the end of the day?" And some, I mean, you thought he was going to put them up against the wall, didn't you? Incredible stuff. But listen, let's get on to the World Cup. Never mind Roy Keane. He's not at the World Cup. You'll be pleased to know. England's group. Sail through, lads. Is it the sail through?
Well, we should get
top two go through.
Top two, you've got to go through with Belgium.
They've got to go through, haven't they? I mean, come on.
So you've got to beat Panama and Tunisia.
Yeah, well, we've been drawn alongside Belgium, Panama and Tunisia in Group G, meaning that we're up against opposition from Europe, Central America and Africa.
You'd think you were reading that off a bit of paper there, Big Dunk.
Right, let's go. Tunisia is the first game, isn't it? On the 18th of June.
Yeah.
They've qualified a few times, but
they will be expected to do anything.
No,
they did win the group. Though. I think they won the group.
Yeah, they won the group, but they've never made it out of the first round. They've qualified four times at World Cup and never ever got out of the group stages.
Well, I mean that counts for nothing.
We've got a youthful squad. We've got a very youthful squad. That's what I've read. Like,
listen. We're talking about England's group, so listen.
I can see they've got a Sunderland midfielder as well in there.
Tunisia have?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not supporting them.
Sunderland midfielder Wabi Kazri.
So listen,
on loan at Rennes.
So that they're playing a player from League One. That's incredible. And a World Cup player playing, and he's in a League One team. That's quite incredible. I mean, that's Accrington Stanley standing, you know.
There's a big there flying pig. We've got Newcastle already involved.
There's no Newcastle involvement, unfortunately, in the World Cup. I cannot see a single player that's involved in the World Cup for Newcastle.
It says here, right, that former Tunisia international Nabil Malal.
It's easy for you to say.
Exactly. Will preside over his country's fortunes in Russia. Appointed for the second time in April 2017, he has long been involved with his country and enjoyed some managerial success at club level with ES Tunis, winning 2 league titles as well as the CAF Champions League.
I love the nickname.
Eagles, is it Eagles?
The Eagles of Carthage.
Good Lord.
They're not going to do anything, though, are they?
And just another little point. They actually play Spain tonight.
Yes, in a friendly.
Yeah.
Now, listen, we're talking about England's group. You mentioned the youthful Tunisian side. We're talking about England's group. Costa Rica game the other night. Very youthful England
I didn't watch
Team
it.
Out. Do you not watch
No,
it?
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
either.
I watched it.
Was that Thursday night?
Yeah,
I was on
Thursday night. Yeah. I heard you were on a 12-hour session, Mr. Dunk.
Might have been.
Yeah, with a certain Mr. Litton.
Might have been.
You were spotted. My lad spotted you around Benidorm. You were there for 12 hours. Am I right? 3:30.
Roughly.
Yeah, you see, you can't hide. Where my spies are out watching you. And you just drank vodka, is that right?
Yes.
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke, man.
Vodka and Diet Coke.
No,
they reckon about 64 of them between you. Is that correct?
no idea. I thought this was a World Cup show.
It is a World Cup show. But listen, Costa Rica game the other night, I have to say, I was quite impressed with the England setup, the enthusiasm.
Who did he have in goal? Did he go with Butland in that one?
I don't know who he had in goal because I don't think he had a shot to save.
Really?
He set off with
Was it Butland?
He
Yeah.
set off with Butland, didn't he? And then he brought Pope on. Is it Nick Pope? Who wasn't
Oh, that young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was his first cap.
Yeah,
that was his
yeah.
first cap. That's correct. Now, I was reasonably impressed with the England team, the setup, and then towards the end of the game, the commentator said they look a little bit tired, this Costa Rica team, and they did.
Yeah.
They did look a little bit tired, and then they said they only stepped off the plane 8 hours ago after a 24-hour trip from Costa Rica.
That's ridiculous.
And I just thought, what's going on? Now, I've flown Costa Rica back here to Madrid, funnily enough. It took me 30 hours. I remember what I felt like
How could they adapt to that? They're prepared and
well, what they're doing, they're staying in Europe for 7 days prior to the game. They arranged this game many moons ago, and they flew out 2 days before. They've got a couple of they've got a delay in Miami, and they've got a delay somewhere else. It meant they were on the go for 24 hours when they really should have been only on the go for 14, and they should have been holed up in the hotel for a 24-hour period. But as it happened, it didn't happen. So listen, it looked a good result on paper because Costa Rica is a good team, a very good team. I've analysed them in detail. Very good team. And a 2-0 win looked good on paper, but unfortunately, when you heard what I've just said, maybe it didn't look so good. Where will you guys be watching the match, the England game? Will you come down to Benidorm? Or?
I'm not sure yet, mate. Really, to be honest.
Right. Little shout out to all the bars that advertise with Cool FM and the bars that sponsor us. We are probably going to bring a show to the bars that advertise with us, where we'll basically
Is that a good idea, really?
Fantastic idea. It's a fabulous idea, Big Dunk, because you know what? It'll be free beer. It's got to be free beer.
All right.
Or free vodka in your case. And what we'll be doing is maybe pitching into the bar. We'll be just doing Facebook Live, pitching into the bar half an hour before the game. We'll do an analysation of the game. We'll bring the clients of the bars to the table. We'll film everything live on Cool FM Facebook. And then we'll cut in if there's goals and bits of action. We'll also cut in with a half-time report, and we'll do an end-of-match summary. How does that sound, lads?
All right, if you're in charge, if you're volunteering yourself,
So listen, I know the Union Jack have already invited for that first England game. So what we'll do as well with all the bars, I think your mob sponsor us as well, Flying Pig, don't they? Yeah, the Yorkshire Pride advertise here, don't they?
No, they advertise.
Yeah, of course they do. So we'll maybe snip along to the Yorkshire Pride or for one of the Spanish games or whatever. Yeah, live on. So so Fly Pictures. I don't want to go back to the Yorkshire Pride. I worked there all week or whatever. But yeah, we'll get him there. We'll get him there picked up.
But the first game too this week, like you said, is 8 o'clock in Spain. Kick-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
At night, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that should be good. And then we've got the Spain games as well. So we'll try and cover the England and obviously the Spanish games as well, because massive interest. Now, here you are, you two guys. One final question, little quiz question, just before we'll go and take a little bit more music. You're living in Spain, lads. What's the nickname of the Spanish football team?
La Rojas.
You're nearly there, Big Dunk.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Spain, Flying Pig?
21 years.
What is it?
It's the Red Fury.
The Red Fury.
Did you not know that?
No.
Furia Roja.
Oh.
The Red Fury.
Nice, just making that.
Okay. No, I'm not making that up. I found that out at the last
It's
World,
just a shame that
World
they
Cup.
haven't got any words for the national anthem, isn't it?
I'll tell you another one. I'll tell you another quiz question I'm going to throw at you, and nobody will ever get it.
We don't get any of them anyway.
In World Cup rankings, off the top of your head, where do you think Spain are?
8.
Oh, I would say 5th.
See, I would have went along with that until I looked it up this morning, and in World Cup rankings, Spain, unbelievably, 10th.
Wow.
10th.
Ow.
Argentina, 4th in the World Cup rankings. Last time Argentina, Spain met, Spain 5, Argentina 1.
Yeah.
How does that? Where's the
Where England?
rankings? I'm going to come on to the rankings a little bit later on. Okay, we've covered England's first game in the group. Quick prediction from you, Big Dunk, before you go.
Against Tunisia, I say we'll do them 2-0.
Well, actually, that's what I was going to say too.
Okay, I'll go along with that. Maybe I might see a 3-1, but we'll have a little bet with the British bookie up there in Benidorm. Might go for a 3-1. But yeah, easy win for England in this game as long as they don't get too nervous. Don't forget, fairly young team. You like the young teams, Big Dunk, and fairly young team, young squad out of the World Cup.
Yeah, their key player, it says there, is their striker Youssef Masakni. He's out. He's their main man, apparently, their striker.
And he's what, out?
Yeah, devastating knee ligament injury.
Oh dear me! Don't talk to me about ligament injuries. I've got one of my footballers that we've got a competition in 2 weeks' time. He's been to America playing football, got a bit of a ligament injury. I hope he's getting fit. I think he will. He should be okay. All the best to you, Jacob Body, if you're out there. We're going to take some more music. We're going to come back with FIFA rankings, more and quiz element of the show, and of course lots and lots of banter from Big Dog and the Flying Pig. Happy to be back, Flying Pig.